Hey ladies, your girl is back. And I have such a good topic for tonight because I cried about it tonight. So I'm already emotionally invested, and now I've had the experience of what it feels like to really understand that I don't know what the fuck I want to do. Like when it comes to career and like major, I'm questioning. I'm very much so questioning, and it feels scary. So today's video is all about self-soothing and how to soothe yourself when you are in the process of a senior in high school, or someone who's applying to colleges, or just like a young girl. Oh my god. God damn it. You know what? It's fine. Just a young girl who's figuring out her life. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, it feels like you don't know what you want to do, right? And that there's so many options. It is so overwhelming. Like I was at a college and career night tonight, and as I was reading the pamphlets and whatnot, the list of majors in fine, tiny print was like at least this long. And I was like, are you kidding me? I have to pick one. I'm interested in this, but also what career am I gonna do with that? What about that? Can I make money with that? It was so overwhelming. It was very overwhelming. And then of course at every table they're like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do, huh? How's the rest of your life gonna plan? I don't know. I'm just a little girl. I don't know anything. You know, that's how I felt. But it feels like you're the only one in the room that feels that way because nobody talks about it. Surprise, surprise. Nobody talks about things that they're struggling with that much. Not new information, just unfortunate information. So first note to cover, the first topic, is that you are not the only one who feels that way. In fact, everybody feels how you feel. Have you ever talked to anyone your age and be like, hey, do you know what you want to do? And they're like, yeah, they're 100% so dead set on their future and what they're going to do. And even if they are, they're not. And I'm going to explain that a little bit more later on. But for now, you have to keep on telling yourself, and not just telling yourself, you know, like being delusional, like reminding yourself the fact that everybody doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. Everybody's just this tiny little human squandering around on Earth trying to figure out why we're here. Like, how did we get here and where do we go? The three big questions of life that nobody knows the answers to, and then we all just kind of make up these little like stories of how we got here and where we're going and our purpose, our one singular, oh god, I get so fucking annoyed by the whole purpose talk. I'm gonna get into that later on too. But girl, you're not alone. Oh my god, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to that they're so, like they feel so out of place, and that they're almost different because they don't know what they want to do, or that college doesn't feel like the right path for them. And that story is so common nowadays. It is so common to not even like want to go to college for what you want to do because you don't have to. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. You're not alone, and you're never alone, but especially in this, everybody doesn't know what they're doing. And I find that really comforting. Number two, coming from a perfectionist and mega planner and fear of the future girly, what would life be if it was so predictable? Because fun is not one of those words. If you knew where you were gonna be at all times and how your life, like your life trajectory, if you knew about that, or like the day you died, like, oh my God, that'd be terrifying, like knowing the day you died. But if you knew how your life was gonna go, how boring is that? Like, life's supposed to be super fun and adventurous and like a roller coaster up and down. You know, you feel really in the dumps, but then you're like, oh my God, like you get married or I don't know, you have your first kiss. Life's all about like the crazy ups and downs, and it's so non-linear. It is. I feel like the schools really promote the idea that your life is linear. Like, you know, you're born, you're at the bottom, you know, at the base of life, and then your life's gonna look like this. And God forbid you're not rich or successful, because that means you're a failure, right? That's the message. That's the belief that's in your mind. That's in my mind, but I mean, at least I'm aware of it now. And I can actually determine, oh, I have an ad. And I can actually determine what success means on my own terms. But would you really want to know how your life was going to plan out? And if it's a yes, it's actually not. Because you'd be really, really, really bored. You could be on a beach in the most beautiful mansion, sipping a margarita and reading a book every day, and one day you're gonna think, you know what, I'd love to go on a bike ride. Like, I'm kind of bored. We as humans innately love progress. We love progress. That's why sports like are so fucking addicting, because all there is progress, you know? It's like this constant leveling up. So if we're like stuck, or like we just finished school, we're like, okay, what now? I'm graduated, yip-de-doo, and then what's the next thing, you know? So like, we are constantly striving to go on this new path, but our paths are not always what is the promoted path. And that's okay. That's okay, because YOLO, unless you believe in reincarnation, but YOLO for this life, right? You only live this life one time, and it's not meant to be super structured and super organized, because that's not fun. It's not an adventure. And who wants that? Who wants that? Number 3, your desires are going to change. They are going to develop. And something that I want to talk about this was, it's so superficial, but fuck it. It matters to me. I loved Jeeps. Like, it was a part of my identity that I Jeeps are my thing. You want to see the back of my laptop? It's like covered in Jeep stickers. Like, I've just like molded little Jeep like symbols into my life, like all of the time for years. Ever since my dad got a Jeep, I've been obsessed. Every time I look at a Jeep, I'm just like, God damn, that's the sexiest thing on the road I've ever seen. Unless there's a fine looking man in the Jeep, then I go feral, and that's too much. I could not. Oh my Lord, that's like a dream come true. But anyway, with my point with this is, recently I've been having thoughts of, wait, but that Dodge, that little fast, speedy black car, that's a really fine car too. That's sexy as fuck too. I even feel like I like that more than a Jeep. And I was like, no, Emma, this is like, it felt like I was betraying my own identity, because when you tell yourself something for so long and your desire starts to develop for another thing and kind of change, it's almost like, wait, am I like giving up on this other thing, my original desire, because I don't feel like I can have it anymore, because I don't want to do that. It's almost like an attachment to what you want or what you previously wanted, and that if you don't have that attachment anymore, that means somehow that you gave up, or that thing, like it speaks to your character in some way. So tying this into college, I've always thought business major. I'm doing a business major, like 100% a business major. But I never really thought about it more. Like, okay, like what do the classes look like in the business major? And what would you maybe like to do with that? And I freaked out tonight. I freaked out after my little college and career thing, because I realized I don't know. Like I can think of things that I love to do now. I love to do this. I love to make videos and content, and I love to talk to people and meet new people and network, and I love organizing. I love planning, decorating, and I'm finding outlets for those things. This what am I saying? This is one of them, you know? But when it comes to college, that's a whole nother level, because it feels like a huge commitment, you know, like this is your major and that determines your life, that determines your career, and if you don't pick the right one, you're fucked. That's how it feels, and that's really scary. And while I was looking at all those little pamphlets with a bunch of information, I was like, damn, like I really like a lot of these things, and I have to pick one, and what if that's not the right one? Like, what if I end up going to a college hours away, doing this major, and I hate it? Like, what am I gonna do then? Then my whole plan in my head was ruined. And that just feels awful. It feels awful. But if I maybe look at it through the lens of kind of appreciating and noticing what I like now, and honoring the undeniable thing that is change. Change is the only constant. Nothing in life is certain and 100% like gonna happen, except for death, change, and taxes. But really, I know that Jeep and like Dodge car thing are so like minuscule or like superficial, but honestly, a part of myself is superficial. I like nice things. I love beautiful things. I love the rich lifestyle. And because when you love something so much, and like you just like, you put it on this pedestal and you look up to it, and because it's like so high, if it were to fall, it would be like even more awful. Like the higher you put on a pedestal, the more fear is like built, like is building it up. Because I forget the name, but it was I just came across it today and I thought it was so interesting. But it was a word, and the definition for it was the fear of being poor and just like unsuccessful, like the fear of being unsuccessful. And I was like, oh, that's a fear, because I totally feel that. But at the same time, I also feel like 100% like confident that I'm gonna be okay. So it's this it's double think, you know, when you can believe two things at the same time, or whatnot, like having the fear of not being like getting where I want to, and then also like the internal knowing that like I'm gonna get there, like it's gonna be okay. Yeah, I know I kind of went off the wire with that, but just noticing and allowing yourself to have different desires and for those original desires to evolve into something bigger, because change is inevitable. Change is always going to happen. Change is the only thing that you can rely on, and that is really backwards, but you can really use it in times of struggle. You know, it's impossible for you to struggle forever. It's impossible for you to feel sad forever, because change is the only constant. You will feel happy again. You will feel connected to other people again. You will feel loved again. It has to happen, you know? Just like when you are in those places of happiness, it is inevitable that you will feel sad again. You will feel mad again. You will feel lonely again. It's not a bad thing. We demonize our emotions, but emotions are just chemicals. They're just like chemical reactions, you know, they just happen. And you can't always necessarily control how they come up or when they come up. The only thing that you can control is how you react to them. I'm really going off on a tangent, but you know what? It all makes sense. It all makes sense because I don't know. Actually. Okay, now I'm gonna get a little bit more mushy-gushy and just like being like a little, a mother or a big sister to you, and letting you know that everything is going to be okay. You are this tiny human. If you look up at the sky at night, you will notice stars. Those stars are billions of miles away, and somehow you are here on a floating rock. There's gravity, there's birds, there's trees. You know, these little things, they start this small, and they can grow hundreds of feet tall. Yeah, that's the world you live in. Does it make sense now? Are you here? Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Like, if you just stare at water for long enough, you will just realize this is so odd. Like, this stuff, it freaks me out. I can get real existential real fast and think about, like, oh my God, I'm here and I'm thinking and I'm observing. It's just like I'm in this room and there are other people and they're doing other things in their own houses, and it's just, life has a funny way of working itself out, and it has a funny way of learning, of teaching lessons and matching you up with people and places and things at the most perfect timing. Like, so divine that nothing human. Oh my God, I thought my TV turned off. That scared me. Because I'm home alone right now and I'm not prepared for anything spooky to happen. No thank you. No thank you. Ghosts are not welcome. No, bye-bye. Go haunt somebody else. Babes, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You've gone through periods of uncertainty and questioning before, and this is no different. Like, you're gonna look back 10 years from now and be like, oh my God, yeah, I was worried about that so much. I don't even know why. Like, it ended up being okay. Think about a time, this helps me. Think about a time when you thought, like, there's no fucking way this is ever gonna stop. This is never gonna stop. It's impossible. And then you got through it. And everyone told you that you were gonna be fine, and that you were gonna get through, and that you were strong enough, even if you didn't believe in yourself at the time, but you made it through, and you will make it through again. I promise. Trust me. Trust. I want to talk about the whole purpose thing now, because all of these spiritual gurus are talking about find your life purpose. Find why you were meant to be here. Leave the leave the body experience and go to the spiritual realm and discover who you are meant to be. Are you familiar with the people? Because I have done my best to banish them from my algorithm because I'm sick and tired of hearing that, because I don't believe that we have one singular purpose. And personally, I wouldn't want that either, because remember what I said earlier about humans loving progress? Imagine if I gave you a note. Actually, pretend this is pencil. This is your purpose. I know your purpose. Here's your purpose. Here you go. Here's your life purpose. Okay, and you take it. Now that you have your life purpose and you know what you're supposed to do, okay, I have my purpose. Now what? Now what? You know, we want the progress. So it's kind of like purpose is a goal, I feel, and all of this stuff is just to try to get there. But it's like the dangling carrot, you know, purpose is like the dangling carrot, like, oh, you're almost there. You're gonna find your purpose. You're gonna find your purpose. Keep meditating, keep journaling. Like, if you could just live in the moment and just do what you know you're passionate about, what you love, what you find interesting, what you find even like not even like the most like your passion, but something that that just like catches your mind, catches your eye. Like you go shopping around and you see jewelry and like that catches your eye, and like things like that, like little things that just somehow spark something in you and you just keep on following that. That is following your passion and your purpose. That is your purpose is why you're meant to be here. And I believe that following your desires and those little like internal inklings and intuition, that is your purpose. It's not like this one sentence with a period at the end. I don't believe that's how it works. And that's how I feel a lot of people make it out to be. And it's kind of like this never-ending conquest for something that doesn't even exist. And I'm not saying that you don't have a purpose, but I think we have multiple purposes. Humans are too complicated to have one purpose. Really. Like, we have so many areas of our life and so many things that we do over just one lifetime. And if you're super spiritual and believe in multiple lifetimes, like one purpose, one sole purpose, I don't think so. I don't think so. You're meant to be here to do a lot of things and to meet a lot of people and make connections and just experience life. You know, like you can be a soul floating. The most spiritual thing you can do is live in your body now. You know, you can be a little soul floating in like 90 years or okay, I'm probably not living to 107 most likely. Okay, like 80 years, whatever, you know? Then you can be a little soul flying around and reincarnating into a duck or whatever. But for now, just be in the moment and remind yourself that this is one step in your life, college and leaving high school and adulting. You know, it's scary. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It's really fucking scary, and you're thrown into independence and uncertainty and just like this really stressful, uncertain time. And we don't like uncertainty, humans. At the same time, we crave it, you know, with like what I was mentioning earlier. We love progress and we love exciting things, you know. Not always knowing is exciting. But in certain contexts, when we aren't sure of our security and our safety of the future, that is when we tend to freak out a little bit. And during these times, I find it very helpful to turn to the higher being the higher source, something that can take care of poor little old young human me. Because I'm just walking around making little videos, listening to jazz and drinking tea, you know, like I don't know that much, but the universe, oh, she knows everything. She knows everything. And this leads to my final point, to trust your divine timing. That's the word. Oh my God, why did that take so long to come to my mind? To trust God, to trust the universe, Buddha, whatever you believe in, to trust it and to put your faith in, because that relinquishes control. And when you give up control, it feels so good. Like a burden is being lifted from your body and floating away into the nothingness of the abyss. No, but really, like, if I'm just so uncertain, I can get to a place in meditation where I swear to God, I'm talking to like my higher, like my best self, my higher self, whatever you want, the soul, it doesn't matter what you call it. And when I get to that spot, I almost end up crying every single time. It is just this overwhelming feeling of something bigger that is protecting me and just loves me so much. And I feel so cared for and watched over. And when I'm driving, sometimes I'll see like 222 or 111 on like the license plate in front of me, or like on the clock or whatever, and I just feel this little sense of comfort that it's gonna be okay. And I really am being watched out for and protected and guided, and the universe has a plan for me that I don't know about. I don't know, and I can't really conceive it either. It's very complicated, you know. Our lives are very complicated. We're humans. And I think that sometimes we feel like we know everything, but really, at the end of the day, we know nothing. We really don't. We're controlled by our ego a lot of the time, you know, autopilot. 95% of what we do on a day-to-day is autopilot. You don't think about driving probably anymore that much. You don't think about walking or your next breath or how many times you're blinking or sniffling, you know, like those random things. You don't think about it. You don't think about it. But when in doubt, give it up. Like, give up that control and that need to know everything and where you're going and how it's going to work out and who you're going to meet, because you don't know and you're never going to know. And there's a sense of adventure in that, but there's also a sense of anxiety depending on how you look at it. But I will tell you this, the more that you let go, the better you will feel. I promise you that. I feel that one line is applicable to everything in life. By letting things go and letting things be as they are right now, you're going to save yourself a lot of time and wasted energy that is worrying, rumination, compulsions, like the whole shebang, anxiety, depression. Like, you can just save yourself from that by letting it go. Really, by letting it go. All right, this feels like a good time to end the video. I hope that you took something from it, and if not anything, just some reassurance that you're not alone. There are so many people going through exactly what you're going through, and everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna work itself out. All right. Until next time, see you soon. Bye.